Well, hello racing fans, and a warm welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for our first race meeting of the week. It's on Tuesday at the Vaal, 19th of March. I trust that you're well. You had a fair week, you had a good break on Monday, and looking forward to hit the turf running on Tuesday. What's happening at the Vaal? Well, there's 9 races on the go, so the exotics will begin in race number 2. And let's get straight into it, welcoming Alistair Cohen, and of course he would have had a break on the Monday. And it's a fresh start to a new week, Alistair.
Yes, Dees, good day to you, good day to all the viewers and the racing fans. Hope that it's going to be a good week ahead. Just having a look at the calendar ahead, there's only feature races at Fairview on Friday, but it's a bit of a slow burn throughout the week. Obviously, this time next week and the week after, we'll be talking big things. We've got the King's Cup on Sunday at Hollywoodbets Greyville. As I always say, that's sort of the first indication that there are going to be trucks going up the N2 and down the N3 coming into champion season. So it's always an exciting time, and it's pretty much wake up, stretch, and the good stuff's coming to Durban in the coming weeks.
Well, I'm glad you put the up and down on the N2s and N3s. I always seem to get that wrong, Alistair, but let's get straight into it. It's a work riders maiden plate over 1,700 meters, and this is how they're betting horses in single figures. Hollywoodbets, there is a horse, and the first horse on the card that's been backed anti-post, number 1 in race number 1, 7-1 into 11-2. Number 2 at 7-1. Then we got horse number 8 at 7-2. 15-10 about number 9, and the first timer from the Tony Peter stable at 7-2. I think let's begin with this first timer because, you know, it's unusual to see a Tony Peter horse debuting over 1,700 meters. It's a bold move, Alistair.
And as a 3-year-old as well, so it's not the norm. You know that the mare Tatiana is a full sister to Mother Russia. Wow. So, and obviously that's a generational family with all Mother Russia, Another Russia, Give Me Another. I mean, it's a family of dreams. And here we have Russian Lotus, who's regally bred son of Flower Alley, having his first run as a 3-year-old, and in a few months' time he'll be 4. So that does raise some alarm bells. He's been gelded. He's obviously been with Alec Laird. So I would suggest that not everything's been plain sailing to get him onto the race course. So watch the betting on him. It's a race that won't take much winning. I respect the money for number 1 in a Blue Moon, but I think the most likely winner here is number 9, Deception Pass. Alex Iterzo takes her out. Alex is actually Candice Dawson's main work rider, and he gets around in the morning. He puts a leg over various other trainers' horses around Rankiesfontein. So here he is with a chance from Mike and Adam as he went to Cape Town, which I think is a signal that the Aussies hold Deception Pass in fairly high esteem. He steps up in distance for the first time, being by Ideal World. I see that as no issue. He also got gelded, so hopefully that can just lighten the load a little bit. And his only run in Cape Town over 1,250 meters was a fair effort. Might have been a trifle disappointing at the time, but if you consider Tyrion Lannister won the Newland Stakes at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth just over a week ago, that form's working out quite nicely. So I think number 9, Deception Pass, if he's fit enough to put on a winning performance, he'll win.
Well, a lot of horses well exposed to having had many chances. So Alistair going with the improvement to come from number 9, Deception Lass. But he's given you the lowdown on number 10, Russian Lotus. Keep an eye on the betting. At the time of recording, 7-2. If there's any money, could be worth following in race number 1. Doesn't form part of the exotics, as I mentioned. That will all begin in race number 2, which will begin at the bar pot, and it is at 20-1. So that's when you need to get that bar pot bet on. It's over 1,400 meters. Number 1 is a scratching, so we'll have 6 runners go to post. So I will read out the betting because I don't think there'll be any adjustments. Number 1 was in double figures. Number 2 at 33-20. Horse number 4 at 15-10. And then number 5, the first timer from the Sean Terry yard, is at 3-1. And horse number 7 is at 7-1. Alistair, this horse at 33-20 was well beaten, but I see for Mike and Adam Azzi, there was some betting support first time out. I must admit, I can't recall the comments that were given to the public, but obviously was fancied Richard Fourie up down in Cape Town.
I I went to Adam Azzi because I was presenting that day at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, and I said, Adam, what are you expecting? He said, very, very, very nice horse. Follow him, but he's going to be better over further. He was beaten by Banff first time out. Banff was subsequently purchased by Team Vela and Anantan Vinashri Singh. Very, very impressive debut winner was Banff. And Lead the Charge showed pace, fell into a hole. I think it was more flight than flight first time out for number 3. Lead the Charge. That type of run, I'd rather see them run the other way, to be honest. Rather see them sort of start 7th and end up 1st, rather than start 1st and end up 7th. But I'll take Adam's word for it. The worry I have with number 3, Lead the Charge, as good looking as he is, and the fact that he's got the run under the belt and it's a strong form line, is that he is a half brother to a horse that won on Saturday called Ready to Charge, and he is an out and out sprinter. So now Lead the Charge, even though he's got Lancaster Bomber as opposed to Gimme the green light, and as we know, the Gimmies can also get a trip with the right mare. I don't know if 1,400 meters down the straight strikes me as a winning move just yet, maybe in time. So although I respect the chances, and although there's a word out for number 3, Lead the Charge, I'd be looking at number 4, Moonlight Trader, with the experience under the belt, despite coming from weak form lines and despite being very well beaten by the precocious and speedy Proceed last time. But there's also a word out for number 5, Page Boy. I remember him at the sales. Unbelievable son of Flower Alley. He caught a lot of interest, and he went for 600,000 to the Verner's family. Gone to Sean Terry. It's very hard to make your debut over 1,400 meters at the Valdez, but there is some expectation that this horse will run a nice race on debut. When, I don't know. One thing with Sean Terry, we know if they're ready to win, they will win, but there's always a bigger picture with Sean, especially if they are feature race material. I don't know if they're feature races in mind. I don't know if he's that good, but I think the expectations are that he'll run nicely in the first leg of the bar pot. So my bar pot numbers will be 4 and 5, just for the viewers. I've not gone with any exotic today, which is unlike me. I love tipping exotics. Bar pot and place accumulator, my game. Pick 6 on days where there's a carryover and there's a big enough carrot to dangle. Then I'll obviously go with a pick 6. But on this card, I'll sidestep the exotics. I've got a best bet. It comes up later on in the card. But if I am playing a bar pot, it will be 4 and 5 in the first leg.
Well, let's look forward to that best bet, and maybe we can play around that for the exotics. But numbers 4 and 5 going to be the play for the bar pot for Alistair Cohen. But he does respect the chances of number 3, Lead the Charge. Then on to the place accumulator, which will begin at 13:15, a 1:15, 1,400 meters, maiden juvenile plate for fillies. Now, I want an opinion from Alistair Cohen here, because this is the way they're betting. Number 1 at 18-10. Number 4 at 7-1. Then we got 6 at 5-1, 7 at 5-1, and 9 at 28-10. I took down the betting and I saw the amount of ground behind Almond Sea that African Beauty was beaten by, and it reads 12.5 lengths. But we know how good that horse is, or that filly is, Almond Sea, from the stable of Tony Peter. But to be beaten 12.5 lengths, tells you, firstly how good she is and how well she's winning. But this horse was well beaten, Alistair. I mean, that's a lot of ground. And at 18-10, I was actually surprised when I took down the betting that the horse is that short.
I don't know how to read the Ruffian Stakes, these, I must be honest. I mean, let's eliminate Almond Sea. African Beauty still got beaten by the second horse by what, 5.5 lengths or so. But she can only improve. She will get this distance, as opposed to Lead the Charge a race earlier. I have no doubt the number 1 African Beauty will be better equipped to take on 1,400 meters for the time being. I don't think this is a particularly strong race, and I think the fact that she brings feature race form, I think you've got to elevate that line of thinking a little bit more. So I like number 1 African Beauty. 18-10, I'm a little bit surprised to hear the price about it, because I thought we'd probably get double that. But obviously, bookmakers are not sleeping and are taking that feature race run at face value, just saying, right, Almond Sea is clearly the best 2-year-old filly in Joburg, and if you work backwards from there, maybe it's not a bad run. That's probably the right mark to kick her off at. I'll tell you the horse that I think that can give her something to worry about. 9 Queen of Fire, I think, is a contender, but I think this horse, number 6, Intro, has got a chance. Been finishing closer, the most experienced horse in the race, so you'd anticipate that others in this race have more scope to improve. But I like the last 2 runs from Intro. Whether they're going to be good enough to win, I don't know. But I think that whoever does win, she'll have to shrug off number 6, Intro. So she could be the value in the race to revolve swingers, exactas, trifectas, and quartets around. I don't actually know if it's a quartet race, if I'm honest. But just make sure number 6 intro is in your wider play.
Yeah, this has to be a quartet race, Alistair. You know, the smaller the field, the better the chance to multiply that per mount, especially if you get it right with the minimum spend. And you can really do so in this type of field where if you want to take on the 18 to 10 shot and it works out for you, then you are going to get some cash here in race number 3. But Alistair is suggesting that numbers 6 and 9 are worth considering if you are playing the place accumulator, which will begin in race number 3. Race number 4, pick 6, 1700 meters, maiden plate, fillies and mares. This is the way they're betting. Number 1 at 15 to 10, 2 at 7 to 2, 3 at 7 to 2. Then we go all the way to number 9 at 9 to 2. And then it is double figures the balance. I think let's begin with Springer. 3 to 1. 7 to 10 or 8 to 10, even money, 2 to 1. This filly, I mean, is this her race to possibly get it right? Because if you've gone for her in the past, you've got burnt.
You've asked the exact question as to why I've not to pick 6. Because, look, it's a hard card. But when you look at Springer and you see everything that's in her favour, draw 1, the form that she brings and the quality of opposition, Gavin Lorena on board, there's a lot in her favour. But then I looked at exactly the same column, 7 to 10, even money, 2 to 1. And at 2 to 1, she was beaten, well beaten by Happy Mo. It was no effort whatsoever from number 1 Springer. She didn't look like winning. So, although she's the one to beat in a race as shallow as this, I couldn't have my hard-earned cash on her on the nose. She's absolutely in the pick 6. She's absolutely the horse to beat. But she's run against weak fields in the past and she's failed to win. Why is that suddenly going to change? That's what I keep asking myself. Plus, she had draw 1 last time and she wasn't able to win. And she had Free and she actually ran her worst race since her debut. So, yeah, it becomes a trickier race when you start to overthink, and I hope for Springer fans I'm not overthinking and putting the fear of God into you. I think number 9 Central Kiss is open to a lot of improvement. Dee's a half sister to second base, a relation to another horse trained by Lucky Hudalakis, whose name just escapes me at the moment, who is very well performed. Craig Zaki takes the ride. She should relish this extra distance. It wasn't a very bad run on debut. There's definitely scope to improve. You know, beaten by Princess Lola's one thing, but when you're bred to step up and come on with experience under the belt like number 9 Central Kiss is, then give her the benefit of the doubt and expect better from her. And if number 1 Springer has any vulnerabilities, and it could come from number 9 Central Kiss, I'm a bit baffled why Blue Quartz is running over 1,700 meters, considering she badly fluffed her lines over a mile last time. So I can't really work that out. Number 2 Arctic Vixen tried blinkers. That might bring out some sort of improvement, but I don't know if it'll be enough to turn around Springer or the likely improvement for number 9 Central Kiss. So they're the 2 horses for me, but Springer's too short for me, Dees.
I actually feel the same way. I think this horse can be taken on in one of your pick 6s, maybe play 2, just try. That could be the way to go, because maybe this is the right type of field for number 1 Springer. And actually, if you pull out that last form line, you'll see a horse called Play With Fire. That gave punters nervous moments. Took a long time to crack the maiden. Had to visit Hollywoodbets Greyville and just won the maiden the other day under what has to be applauded for the ride by Samanga Kumalo, getting the job done on that filly for Fani Broncos. But that was the winner from the form line. Jackpot 1, race number 5, 1425, 2,400 meters. Now, this race is an absolute nightmare. We can refer to the best weighted column, but often with these middle stakes, you know, we understand that it mostly belongs to the fillies and it's quite tight. But let's have a look at the betting to see if there's any horse that has separated itself from the field. And I can tell you, when I took it down, there is none. Number 3, 4 to 1. Number 4, 13 to 2. 5 and 11 to 2. Number 6 is at 9 to 2. Then we got horse number 9 at 17 to 2. And it's double figures, the balance. There are horses that are in excellent form here, Alistair. especially once the stamina kicks in. There are horses that may be competitive of a lower mark. But I think the good place to possibly start off is with your soldier, the 7-year-old Banner Bridge, who's done superbly well for you. You know, just as a matter of interest for viewers, the horse was purchased for 160,000. He's won 7 times. He's earned stakes close to 600,000, anything from 1,400 up to 2,600 meters. Alistair, what a CV your horse has produced.
Unbelievable. What a horse. He's just a trier, a soldier, and he's a happy horse, which is, you know, when they're 7, some of them can sort of put their ears back and not want to do anything and sort of show no signs of life, but he's still like a 3 or 4-year-old. He's loving life. He's fresh in the mornings. He's in great shape. He's working nicely. I'm optimistic that he'll run well. I think he'll run the same type of race that he always runs. He'll try his best, and when the whips are cracking, he'll be involved. The irony is that Serena Moodley rides him for the first time. He's the 7-time winner, and he's been won on by 7 different jockeys. So it might look a little bit odd that in the last 10 starts had Matsunyani, Van der Merwe, Danielson, Kamalo, Stradum, Lorena, Schwarz, and run badly once, and it might look like a lack of loyalty. But Janice and I are of the opinion, well, everyone's got to have a little bit of a turn on number 9, Banner Bridge. He's 7 wins. First win Danielson, second win Kamalo, third win Zaki, fourth win was Ferraris, fifth win was DeMello, sixth win Matsunyani, and seventh win Stradum. So hopefully the 8th win will be Moodley on this Tuesday card. So there we go. That's another unique addition to the CV. In all seriousness, beaten by Positive Attitude when they met in early February. He's got an unbelievably calm swing at the weights. Obviously, Positive Attitude was a winner subsequently, so the handicapper gave him a hike. So at the weights, number 9, Banner Bridge has got number 5, Positive Attitude hold. I think on that line of form, then that gives me a little bit more confidence. Down the page, I think a huge chance for number 12, Arlington Action here, D's. James De Harbour takes the ride for Tyra and Zaki. He's been crying out for this type of distance. I like his runs this year. He's been banging on the door in 2 middle stakes, which probably look like the wrong races for him, but probably shrewdly placed by Tyro and Zaki. Then for some reason, I liked him on the inside track on the 29th of February, and he actually ran nicely, stayed on well, but I really liked him that day, and in hindsight, that was foolish of me to like him over 1,800 meters on the inside track. He was never going to have enough race course to run on. And then last time behind Poor Little Rich Girl, again, he found a little spark over the closing stages. He'll love this track. He's won at this course before. He'll love the distance, stepping up to 2,400 meters for the first time in a while, and off a light weight he poses a huge threat. So I like number 12 Arlington Action. 9 Banner Bridge will be right there. There's heaps of others that you've got to respect. I think number 2 United Council, despite having a deep draw, is going to be a danger. I don't know about Slinky Mapimpi over this trip. I really have reservations whether he'll reach 2,400 meters. If he does, he could win by a furlong, but he also could be beaten by a furlong if he doesn't. Professor Snape hasn't ripped up any trees last time. The form to East Coast is dire, so I'm not mad about that. 20 Drachmas was well placed by Stuart Pettigrew, but life getting harder, but he's running well. But I must be honest, in the PA, I'm happy to narrow it down to 2 horses, 9 and 12, work around number 2 and other exotics, and probably throw in a few others that make some appeal to punters.
You know, we don't want to, go and dig deep for, some type of explanation, but this filly, Renee, we understand, that for her places in the Gauteng filly Guineas on how she was penalised for running that third behind Lady of Power, but she seemed to confirm it in the Oaks, when she ran that good second behind none other. But the point that I keep coming back to is when you achieve these ratings of a high mark, then you have to start competing at that level. Do you think she's done enough of late to suggest that she can compete of this mark, Alistair? And I see they've gone with the blinkers.
She's probably not far away, Dees, but her last couple of runs, she's actually had every chance according to the handicapper. Whether the rating is accurate or not, that's a totally different debate.
Correct.
definitely wasn't correct. Definitely wasn't accurate, judging by how she ran off a 106 and subsequently off a 101. But I think that she was well enough placed to give her an opportunity to confirm the rating, and she hasn't. Obviously, it's now dropped 10 pounds in the space of 2 runs, so that immediately has got to give number 1 Renee some sort of chance to improve, but I'm just not seeing any signs of it at the moment. So off top weight, it's not going to be too easy, despite having the best weighted column in her favour. Maybe she needs to be relieved another point or two before number 1 Renee really means business.
Yeah, she's getting some help of late, and we'll see if she can drop a bit further. But she's a horse that I'll keep a very close eye on, because it seems like this type of trip will suit her much better. Right, a lot of horses been spoken about there, but Alistair's managed to narrow it down for you. Race number 6, 1,200 meters. It's a classified stakes, and the betting here, number 1 is at 3-1. Horse number 3 is at 3-1. Number 5 is at 4-1. Number 6 is at 8-1. And then 12 is the latest scratching, so we'll have 12 runners go to post. And number 13, Risky Business, is a 7-1 shot. Well, talk to us this race, Alistair.
This is the horse, this is the race, 3-1, number 3, Open Highway. What I do need to tell punchers, by the way, is how the track is configured on this Tuesday. I should have done that at the start, but I'll do it now. So the outside rail is going to be in, which means that you would anticipate a low number draw is where you need to be at the Vaal on Tuesday. So you don't have, I'm going to use the word, open highway up the outside rail to work with, not until the 600 meters mark anyway. And I think you're going to find a lot of riders gravitating towards the middle inside. So when you get to those big fields in the last 3 races, just bear that in mind. But here's the horse number 3, Open Highway. And the reason why I'm bringing up draws to kick off with number 3, Open Highway, 12 days earlier, nothing performed from an inside draw. Go have a look at the run-ons. You'll only see high number draws. That was when fields were massive, results were rough, and this is pretty much a carbon copy. But Open Highway was the only horse on the card in a big field to have featured towards the inside of the track on what's perceived to be the wrong going when the rail was configured the way that it was. Samango Kamalo rides for Fani Broncos. He stayed on nicely behind Kian the Conqueror in a big field. He was isolated all by himself. Every other horse on the inside he shrugged off without any fuss whatsoever. It's his 3rd run in Joburg, 3rd run on returning from Joburg. His 1st run was good. His 2nd run was better. I'm expecting more from his 3rd run. I like the way that he stayed on. There's a lot in his favour, D's. Even in Cape Town, he ran one bad race, but runs to Fibonacci, placed in the Newland Stakes. October Morn's obviously a feature race winner in Cape Town. He showed that he's no mug, number 3, Open Highway. I think he's well treated here, and I think he'll win. And he's best bet on the card, and he's 3-1. I'm going to banker him everywhere, and I'm not going to look for anything to trouble him because I'm just going to get confused.
Well, we got a banker. Let's row in with Alistair Cohen and go with his best bet on the card, race number 6, number 3, Open Highway. And if that has to arrive in the pick 6, well, hopefully you've got the right numbers in the other 5 legs. And just to make it clear on what Alistair Cohen is tried to explain with regards to that false rail, well, if you go to the card changes on the SA horse racing side, outside rail 7 meters in from the 1600 meter mark with a 7 meter spur at the 600 meter mark, and the inside rail is at 0. So race number 7, 1400 meters, fillies and mares, 72 handicap, and this is the way they're betting. Number 1 at 9-2, number 2 is at 7-1, horse number 5 is at 8-1, number 6 is at 6-1, number 8 is at 11-2, and then we have, yes, that's it, Alistair, double figures the balance. Wow. I can see why you didn't want to tip an exotic, because you would have needed horses here.
It's a very, very tricky race. I think to get the ball rolling, let me talk about the horse I know best, number 6, Great Barrier, tries 1400 meters for the 2nd time in her life. The first run over 1400 meters was disappointing. If Cavallerina can contain her, she'll be a big runner. If she pulls, she won't be a threat at all. The form from the Great Barrier win was actually worked out well with Platinum Princess, I think it is, of Binder, and the Hollywood Syndicate having won, as well as Trippy's tune at Hollywoodbets Greyville just over a week earlier, and actually ran 2nd as run, but ran over 1,000 meters, and I don't think that was right for and action. So number 6, Great Barrier, has claims, but she's no good thing. Like I said, she can run well or run absolutely no type of race if she pulls. I think down the weights might be the angle to go. Number 8, Lady Crusade. If she goes 1,400 meters, she too can be very dangerous. From the Palace Revolt form, a horse that ran behind her, Stormy Seas, who I tipped on this podcast for Saturday's meeting, won at about 16 rand to win. So number 8, Lady Crusade, comes from now what is a winning form run. Cabello Mazzaniani and Brett Crawford are absolutely firing in Joburg, so I think she's actually the one that they need to beat. Number 10, Can't Catch Me, Sounds of Life, last time over a mile when running on Nasty behind Primrose Path, drawn towards the inside, so I like that on this particular card. And sure, there are lots in here which are answers. It's difficult to leave anyone else. There is a horse right down the weight. She's under sufferance, but she gets a 4-kilo claim here, Dees. I think number 19, Beguiling. I've been for her before. I really fancied her chances on the 9th of December, and she ran no sort of race behind Stormy Choice, but her rating has come down again. Her rating has actually come down to the detriment of herself now that she's going to be under sufferance for quite a while. But 19 Beguiling's my quartet horse. I don't know if she can win, but she tried 2,000 meters last time. She's probably not a 2,000 meter horse. Philip Labuskakti's horses run best at the Vaal down the straight. I think that she's an outside chance, number 19 Beguiling, to run into the first 4, and she could be the money maker in the race. Like I said, don't know if she can win, but she's going to be any price to run into the first 4.
Well, that could be a nice outsider to include in all bets. If that has to come in, and the filly right at the bottom with the claim 4, then that's going to boost dividends there in race number 7. We move along to the penultimate race on the card, race number 8. It's over 1,400 meters, a merit-weighted 80 handicap. And this is the way they're betting, single figures. Number 5 at 7 to 1, 6 is at 6 to 1, 7 is a scratching, 8 at 7 to 1. And we got just one more runner, number 9, Sage King at 8 to 1. I'd like to kick things off here because number 9, 5 Turbo Power. Last time out, if you didn't watch racing that day, please try and go and watch the replay. That happened on the 7th of March. This horse was on the outside rail, and wow, I don't know what was happening there, but Dennis Schwartz was on a horse called Duke of Rock. And I can promise you that jockey Sereno nearly went over the rail that day. And he managed to get out. And I thought he was very, very unlucky when second behind signed the Conqueror. So I would say that, this was an unkind penalty for running second from a 77 to an 80. I know everything went wrong for him, etc. But to run second under those circumstances and to be penalized, it just cost the horse, 1.5 kgs less to carry here. But anyway, that is what it is. Now, with regards to the riding arrangements, Sean Terry is an absolute gentleman. I just want to tell you that, Sereno Moodley was unsure whether he was coming to this meeting or not, and there were changes all round. But eventually, he was going to come and. He's already committed on a ride for Mark Khan, but Sean Cherry is an absolute gentleman. He did give me a call, and unfortunately, he would have really loved to have Serena ride the horse. So, it just was the circumstances of rides being committed earlier than usual. That's why he's not riding the horse. But number 5, Turbo Power, valid excuses last time out for not winning, Alistair.
I also want to give Sean a little bit of a compliment here for number 5 Turbo Power. Do you remember him in his first 2 races? He was scratched before he was gelded as well. He had no manners. His behavior was terrible. He was the closest thing to a horse murderer I've ever seen. He was rubbish, absolute piece of rubbish. But since being gelded, and his temperament has calmed down, and Sean's obviously worked very, very hard on the son of Twice Over. He's now a lamb. He's brilliant, and he's well behaved, and he's now actually turned his form around, and therefore turned his career around. He probably wouldn't have had a career if Sean wasn't able to turn him around. So credit to Sean. And now, from what I hear, jockeys actually enjoy riding him, because before he was gelded, there were guys that were actually scared to get on this horse. So credit to Sean, because it's hard work. I've seen naughty horses that just they don't end up having a career because they just cannot be trained and no one wants to ride them. So credit to Sean for number 5, Turbo Power. He's a big player here because he obviously caught the eye last time behind Kian the Conqueror. From that race, we got a race earlier, obviously, or 2 races earlier through open highway. So if he comes out and does some damage in race number 6, that will enhance the chances of number 5, Turbo Power. But I think the horse that they got to watch for is number 8, Pocket Watch. Excuse the pun. Calvin Abib rides for Stuart Pettigrew. I like the last one. He was probably left with a little bit too much to do behind Warhawk Bomber. Since coming out of the maidens off a rating of 84, and to be fair, he fell across the line in the maidens against Field or Right, and he probably didn't bring the most sparkling maiden form into the picture. After all, it was winter maiden form in the half vault, but he's maintained a high level of form. I mean, 4 3/4 lengths behind Hotter Ruby, who's now rated, I think, 115. 3.5 lengths to Slinky Mapimpi, who's on the up and runs earlier on, despite not liking him earlier on. And that last run to Warhawk Bomber, there were nice horses in and around them. So I think number 8, Pocket Watch, is the one that they need to respect. He's top of my page anyway. But then there's heaps of others. Number 2, Jury's out. Last run on the inside track, all wrong. He's had 2 bad runs in Joburg. They've both been on the inside track. So note to self, won't run on the inside track again. He'll run better here. Full Clarkson, if he's fit enough, he'll run well. He's a lovely son of Atto. I don't really like number 6, Work of Time, if I'm honest. 11, Master Christmas, could be a player. 12, Early Whirly, always dangerous under Stratum. A little whisper right about number 13, Sea Shanty. I'm not too sure if you heard that, so throw him into your trifectas and quartets. 19, Sage King, caught the eye last time and running on behind Fully Loaded. Actually also ran out of luck going through the final 200 meters and may have been unlucky not to have got even closer behind Fully Loaded. So there's heaps of horses that you got to put into your trifectas, quartets, and pick 6, but top choice is number 8, Pocket Watch.
Well, number 8, Pocket Watch, and 7, Turbo Power are going to be the 2 then. I didn't give you on a row of 2 horses. I know that they are other horses that seem to be fancied in the betting market, but how well are they fancied? They're betting 6 to 1 the field here in race number 8. So if you can try and find a few roughies and those roving bankers manage to finish in the top 4, I think you'll get a sizable return on your investment. And yes, number 13, Sea Shanty, is quietly fancied by the stable of Mark Khan. Then on to the lucky last, race number 9, 1400 meters, and this is a 68 handicap. It's a D division class. Well, if you are running in this pick 6, whether it is a percentage or even the place accumulator or even the last pick 3 or the second jackpot, I think regardless of the results in the previous races, you are standing to collect some decent money here, because this is a card to chase if you can try and get it right. Because when you have a look at these big fields, competitive racing, there's money to be made. How are they betting here in race number 9? Well, number 3, Munchkin, is at 6 to 1. Number 6 is at 6 to 1. Horse number 9 at 7 to 1. 10 at 5 to 1. 11 at 11 to 2, and 17 is at 8 to 1. I'm just going to give you some form updates, Alistair, just for the guys. Number 3, Munchkin, third behind Vava Vegas, beaten 3 lengths, run third. In that same race was number 4 that finished 10th, beaten 10 lengths. And then number 8, Golden Aspen, raced at Hollywoodbets Greyville and was beaten 5 lengths, but finishing towards the back of the field behind Paka Imali. Some form updates there if you don't have them. What are we doing here in the last race? Just say your best bet has arrived, okay? The guys followed you, the best bet arrived. And now they've managed to survive the other legs. But thanks to you, the best bet is in. Now they're going in the pick 6. Now they need your help here, Alistair, because you've given them the best bet. They managed to add numbers to the selections you've given in the other legs. They've survived. But now they need your help. If you're running in the pick 6 here, try your best to narrow it down for us.
9, Cash Vaal.
Yes.
Definitely. I liked him a lot last time. I was screaming him home in the office. Nathan Klinkup for Mark Khan. He stayed on well behind Fully Loaded. It was probably also a bit unlucky. It was a messy race. This is probably also going to be a messy race. So lucky and running has got to come into it. And I'm torn between number 11 Dambi and 3 Munchkin. I'm probably going to lean towards number 11, despite being a horse that I think is more effective over slightly further. Stayed on nicely over 1,800 meters behind Future Wolf last time. High number draw, I think with his running style, he's versatile enough to get into the right place under Samanga Kamalo from Anapandaram and Lorenzo Karim. So he might end. I'm going to default towards him. Third run after a rest as well. I like the progress that he's made since coming back from a rest from run 1 to run 2, and now hopefully this is going to be his peak run. So they're the two horses I'm going to work around. I don't think we need to go to town with all the horses, with too many horses in this race. I think number 7 Nazaro is doing very well. He actually ran nicely on his long-awaited return to the racetrack. That was a nice run behind Duke of Rock, so he's got a chance of. He's got an outside winning chance, but a nice little top 4 chance. 10 Cerulean Dance is a model of consistency. Jet Cat, there's a horse I've got a bit of time for. If this was a 1,200 meter race, number 14 Jet Cat would be very close to the top of my page. Jeffrey Seister rides for Heinrich van der Vestes, and also in the last run to Max the Otter was a fair run on the 13th of January. He's been off for a while. I don't know whether he'll quite reach 1,400 meters. He's shown no evidence of being as prolific over 1,400 meters than he is over 12, but down the straight he's a better horse. He just cannot run around the turn, as you can see by his runs around the bend. So 14 Jet Cat, I think, an outside place chance, and I'm actually happy to hold it to, what was that, 3, 7, 9, 10, 11, and 14 to 6 horses. I think the winner in second and third could come from one of those, and then for fourth in the quartet, just go the big F.
Can we possibly consider number 17 Della Sword?
Geez, I'm not a Della Sword fan, eh? Lightweight, I suppose, has got to enhance her chances. She's drawn towards the inside, which I'm saying is the right place to be on this card. Maybe I'm just once bitten, twice shy with number 17 Della Sword. She is average off a rating of 63, or 53 rather. That confirms that. I suppose she's got a place chance. On your recommendation, we'll throw her into the quartet.
Okay, not the pick 6, but the quartet. And if you're looking for one more, maybe number 6, Longsword, who showed signs of a return to some life last time out, and maybe this time round hasn't won in a long time after shedding that maiden some time back, number 6, Longsword. But Alistair Cohen's numbers, and he's managed to help us here, because there is a field of 18 at the time of recording going to post. So in numerical order, the numbers he's given, if you're running in the pick 6, well, these are the numbers that you can possibly be quietly confident with. Numbers 3, 7, 10, 11, 3, 7, 9, 10, 11, and 14. 3, 7, 9, 10, 11, and 14. And I think that is a big help, especially if he gets it right. Okay, Alistair, no exotics for a change, but we went through the card and you've given us the banker. Which is it?
Yeah, it's race 6, number 3, Open Highway. Best bet on the card, banker in all bets, in all exotics. You need to find one, and I like number 3, Open Highway, a lot in race number 6, Dot a Jackpot 2, and bang in the middle of all the exotics. That's actually a good place to place it.
Well, you've managed to find us the banker bet on the card. So whilst you haven't given a bet, you've given us the banker on the card for those exotics, because if that has to arrive, then hopefully, the guys can work out the other leg. So it is a competitive start to the week on this 19th of March, on this Tuesday where we race at the Vaal. But competitive racing makes for, encouraging pools, and encouraging pools. Well, if you get it right, then you're in for some very good dividends. Thank you so much, Alistair Cohen. Appreciate your help.
It is always a pleasure. Lovely chatting. Hopefully it's a meeting that goes according to plan. It obviously looks quite intimidating, but where there's intimidation, there's opportunity, there's money to be made, and fortune will favour the brave on this card.
Yes, that is it. Opportunity on the 19th of March at the Vaal in Vereeniging. On behalf of the Gallop TV team, Alistair Cohen, myself, Dees Dianand, to you, the valued racing fan, hopefully it turns out to be a good day for you. Find all the winners, make a huge profit, and until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gashle.